95% of traders know about the common fears of losing money or being wrong. But there's a hidden fear silently costing traders thousands more. I've placed over 1,000 live trades since 2018 and lost thousands because of it. Today, I'll help you identify the fear of leaving money on the table and exactly how to prevent it. What is leaving money on the table? It is simply when you're making money, but you're afraid to take profits because you're afraid it will continue to go higher and you're gonna miss out on that potential and unknown money. Now, as option traders, this happens when your options are in the money and yet you don't take profits. And what's the consequence? The next day, the whole position reverses, and from making money, you go all the way down to red and to losing money. Now, leaving money on the table is one of the 4 fears, but this fear mostly affects intermediate and advanced traders the most. And of course, beginners would be affected too. Why I say this affects intermediate traders more, because as a beginner, you're mainly afraid of the other fears, such as losing money, being wrong, and also fear of missing out of entries. Those are your biggest concerns at the moment. Now, when you get into the intermediate trader phase or advanced trader phase, you already gotten past those beginner mistakes and fears. More of your options are profitable and in the money more often. And that's when the fear of leaving money on the table and not taking profits occurs. A lot of us are affected by this fear because when we look at charts, we usually measure the full bottom to the top of the entry to exit. Now, in real life trading, it's impossible to time the top for exit. That is theory. We never ever can exit at the very top of a chart. But yet when we study the charts, we always measure the top. And as we are in a trade and we are at the top, we imagine that there can be another top tomorrow, another top the day after. We never know. So we get greedy. Greed is a type of fear. Greed is the fear of missing out on money and leaving money on the table. Another reason we do this is because we don't want to feel like a scaredy cat. We don't want to feel like we have paper hands and we exit too early. Especially when we are winning, what can go wrong? Our confidence is high right now, so you continue to hold and you feel invincible and you feel good and you feel confident, and that's when it hits you. We have to be aware of this feeling. Now, with all that being said, what can we do to combat this? I have 2 simple strategies for you guys. The first one is when you're planning out your trade, you have to plan out your exit when you're making money. A lot of traders only plan their exit when they're losing. Now, for option traders, if you're trading short strangles, for example, our exit profit taker is usually 50%. So when you enter the trade, immediately we're gonna set a limit order of 50% and exit then. And set it as GTC, good till close. So we don't need to be watching our trade all day long, and once it hit 50%, it will exit automatically. Now, the second strategy is to have a trailing stop loss. So when we're in the money, when we're making money, say we're here, you're gonna set a stop loss at a defined number of ticks behind the current price. So as it moves up, you're gonna move your stop loss up. If it moves up again, you're gonna move your stop loss up. And you will never make the maximum amount of money. You'll never catch the very top. And you'll always lose a little bit with a trailing stop loss, but it's a defined reversal profit-taking strategy, okay? It depends on what instrument you're trading. Your trailing stop loss can be 5 ticks behind, 10 ticks behind. It's really up to you. But have that set in stone before you enter the trade and do not change the criteria as you're chasing it, because a lot of the times how people screw up is they change their profit taker, they change their limit order. When we're in the money, it hits 50%, they feel like, oh, I must squeeze a little bit out of it. I'm gonna change it to 60% profit taker. Oh, the trade is going really, really well. Their confidence is high, and then they bump it up a bit. Okay, why don't I set it to 70 now, or even 80? And that's when it can reverse the next day. How many times have that happened to you guys? If it happened to you before, smash the like button and comment below. I want to hear your profit reversal experiences. I myself so many times set a profit taker for 80%, and I have maybe a few days to expiration left. I said, why don't I just let it expire? That is the worst idea ever. I had the whole position reverse on me, and it happened to me a couple of times. So from now on, I set at 80, I never touch it again. The only way I touch it is I decrease my profit taker. So say my profit taker is 50%, but I only have 21 days left, and the trade is at 25% profit. In that case, I would lower my profit target and exit at 25%. But I would never increase my profit taker, because that is greed, that is fear of leaving money on the table, and that's how amateurs lose money even when they had a winning trade. You don't want to be like them. All right, traders, that's it for today. Trade small, trade safe.